Hello, and welcome back to Sleeping Gift. Tonight, allow me to share a story to accompany you as you drift off to sleep. Before we go any further, take a slow and gentle breath. Let the calm air fill your chest, then slowly exhale. Release every burden you have been carrying. Let your imagination gently guide you into this story. Now, let's begin the story. Breathe in, breathe out, and let me take you away for a moment into a story. Sitting by a still lake, sleep story, deep calm, night, relaxation. Before we enter this story, take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Now it is time for us to step into this journey. There is a place where the land opens gently, as if it has taken a slow breath and decided to rest, and in that quiet opening, a still lake waits without asking for anything at all. You arrive without hurry. The path that brought you here does not feel like a path you had to follow, but something that unfolded beneath your steps, soft and patient, guiding without insistence. The ground is firm but kind, covered in a thin layer of fallen leaves that give a faint, dry whisper with each movement, a whisper that fades almost as soon as it is heard. Ahead, the lake rests. Its surface is smooth in a way that almost feels deliberate, as if it has chosen to hold still for the evening, as if it understands that the sky above it is slowly changing, and it wishes to carry that change carefully, without distortion. The sky is in the middle of becoming something else. It is no longer the full brightness of day, but not yet the deep quiet of night. It lingers in between, holding soft shades that blend into one another without edges, pale gold slipping into gentle blue, blue dissolving into a quiet lavender that barely insists on being seen. You move closer. There is a place near the edge where the ground dips slightly, and there, a simple seat waits, a smooth, worn surface of wood or stone. It is difficult to tell which at first, only that it has been shaped by time and quiet presence. It does not call attention to itself. It simply offers. You sit. The act of sitting feels like the completion of something small and unspoken. Your body settles, not all at once, but in stages, the way shoulders lower without being told, the way hands find a place to rest, the way breath begins to notice itself. Inhale, exhale. The air carries a faint coolness, not sharp but gentle, brushing lightly against your skin, moving past without urgency. Somewhere, far enough away that it does not interrupt the quiet, there is the softest hint of movement, perhaps leaves shifting, or the distant settling of branches as the day lets go. The lake does not move, or perhaps it does, but so slowly that the movement becomes part of stillness itself. The surface holds the sky with remarkable care. Every color above seems to echo below, though slightly softened, as if the lake understands how to quiet even the sky's fading light. The reflection is not a perfect mirror, but something more forgiving, more blended, where edges are allowed to dissolve. You notice how the light rests on the water. It does not glare. It does not demand attention. It simply exists, spreading gently across the surface, growing softer with each passing moment, as though it too is growing tired, preparing to settle into something deeper. Your breathing begins to follow a rhythm that feels less like something you are doing and more like something that is happening on its own. Inhale, exhale. There is a sense, quiet and steady, that nothing here needs to change. The sky will continue its slow transition. The lake will continue its quiet reflection, and you will remain here, not as an observer standing apart, but as something included in the stillness. A small ripple appears near the far edge of the lake. It is so slight that it could almost be imagined a single widening circle that forms, expands, and then disappears back into the smooth surface, leaving no trace behind. It does not disturb the reflection. It becomes part of it, and then it is gone. The air shifts again just a little, not enough to be called wind, only enough to remind you that the world is breathing too. And as you sit there by the still lake, with the fading sky resting quietly above and within it, time begins to loosen its hold, just slightly, as if it too has decided to sit down for a while and rest. The lake remains as it is, unhurried, untroubled, holding the fading sky in a way that feels almost protective, as if it has done this many times before and knows there is no need to rush what will unfold on its own. You sit in the same place, and the simple act of sitting begins to feel familiar, not something new, not something to adjust to, but something already known, as though your body remembers this rhythm from another quiet evening, another still place, another moment where nothing asked anything of you. Your hands rest easily, perhaps on your lap, or beside you on the smooth surface of the seat, where the texture feels gently worn, softened by time and by quiet use. If you let your fingers move just slightly, you can feel the faint variations in the surface, small dips and lines that tell a story too slow to ever be fully heard. You do not need to follow that story. It is enough to notice that it is there. Inhale, exhale. The breath comes and goes, not counted, not measured, simply moving like the light across the lake, like the soft blending of colors in the sky that continues its slow descent into evening. There is a pattern beginning to form, though it does not announce itself. You breathe in, you breathe out, your gaze drifts across the water, then back again. Each movement is small, almost invisible, yet it repeats, gently, without effort. The sky has shifted, though so gradually that it feels less like a change and more like a deepening. The pale gold has softened, thinning into something lighter, something that seems to dissolve even as you notice it. The blue has grown quieter, less bright, leaning into a calm that does not need to be named. And the lavender, so faint before now, lingers a little longer, spreading carefully, like a thought that does not wish to disturb anything around it. The lake receives all of this. It does not question the colors. It does not try to hold on to them. It reflects, and in reflecting, it lets them be exactly as they are. There is a small sound somewhere behind you. It could be the settling of a branch or the soft shift of leaves touching one another. The sound does not repeat immediately, and so it becomes part of the quiet, folded into it rather than standing apart. Your shoulders sink a little more, not in a noticeable way, not all at once, but gradually, as though each breath gently invites them downward, offering rest without asking for permission. Inhale, exhale. The surface of the lake remains mostly still, though now and then something subtle moves beneath it. A faint disturbance, barely visible, like a soft thought passing through the water. It creates the smallest ripple, a line that bends the reflection just enough to remind you that even stillness contains movement, though the movement is patient, almost imperceptible. You watch, not with focus, not with intention, but with a kind of openness that does not cling to what it sees. The ripple fades, the reflection returns, and the cycle continues quietly, without need for acknowledgement. There is a sense that you could remain here for a long time, not because time is stretching, but because it is loosening, becoming less defined, less structured, like the edges of the colors in the sky that no longer hold themselves sharply apart. The air carries the faintest hint of coolness again. It brushes past, touches your skin, and then moves on, leaving behind no urgency, no demand, only a soft reminder that the world continues in small, gentle ways. You breathe in, you breathe out, and somewhere within that rhythm, without effort, without decision, you begin to match the quiet patterns around you, the slow shifting light, the subtle movements of water, the almost silent sounds that come and go without leaving a mark. Nothing needs to be done. Nothing needs to be changed. There is only this steady, repeating presence of breath, of light, of still water, holding a sky that is slowly, softly becoming night. The quiet deepens, though it does not arrive all at once. It settles slowly, like a thin layer of evening air resting over the surface of the lake, like a soft fabric placed gently across something already still, adding no weight, only a subtle sense of closeness. You remain where you are. There is no reason to move, and so movement becomes smaller, more distant, something that belongs to another time, or perhaps to somewhere just beyond the edge of this place. Your breath continues. Inhale, exhale. Each one feels slightly longer than before, though not by intention, not by effort. It is simply the way the body begins to respond when nothing is pressing against it, when nothing is asking it to be faster or sharper or more alert than it needs to be. The lake reflects this same slowing. Its surface, already calm, now feels even more settled, as though whatever quiet motion once passed through it has grown tired and decided to rest. The occasional ripple still appears, but more rarely now, and when it does, it moves outward so gently that it seems to fade, before it has fully formed. You watch without needing to follow. The sky continues its soft transformation. The colors are still there, though they have become more blended, more delicate, like watercolors that have been touched lightly by a drop of clear water, allowing them to drift into one another without resistance. The lavender spreads a little further. The blue deepens, though it does so quietly without drawing attention. And the last traces of gold linger at the edges, faint and patient, as though they are in no hurry to disappear, yet do not mind when they do. You notice the way the light rests on the surface of the lake. It does not sit on top exactly. It seems to sink just slightly beneath, as if the water is holding it, keeping it close, allowing it to soften before it fades completely. Your hands remain still, but if you shift your awareness toward them, you might feel the faint warmth where they rest, the gentle contact between skin and surface, the quiet reassurance of something solid beneath you. The seat beneath you feels unchanged, steady, supportive. There is a sense that it has always been here and will remain here, holding the same quiet shape long after the colors of this evening have come and gone. A small sound returns. This time it is closer, a soft brushing like the light movement of grass or the faint contact of something passing through leaves. It does not interrupt the stillness. It becomes part of it, like a single note placed carefully into a long, continuous silence. You do not turn to look. There is no need to identify it. It exists, and then it does not, and the quiet remains whole. Inhale, exhale. The air feels slightly cooler now, not enough to bring discomfort, only enough to be noticed in the space between breaths, in the gentle pause where the body lingers before beginning again. Your gaze rests somewhere across the water, not fixed, not searching, just resting, the way a leaf might rest on the surface of the lake, touching lightly without sinking, without trying to go anywhere else. Time continues to soften. Moments no longer feel separate from one another. They begin to blend, like the colors above, like the reflection below, until it becomes difficult to say where one ends and another begins. There is only a continuous unfolding, a steady presence. The lake, the sky, your breath, and within it all, a quiet understanding that nothing here needs to be held on to, because nothing here is truly leaving. Everything is simply becoming something softer, something slower, something that moves so gently, it almost feels like stillness itself. The evening continues to settle, not as a single moment, but as a quiet layering, one softness resting upon another, until the space around you feels gently wrapped in something calm and unhurried. You remain seated, just as before. There is a sense now that the position you found earlier has become even more natural, as though your body has quietly agreed to stay here for as long as it wishes, without needing to shift or adjust. Inhale, exhale. The rhythm continues, steady and unspoken. The lake reflects a sky that has grown more subdued, though not dim. Not yet. The colors are still present, but they seem to move inward, becoming less about brightness and more about depth. The lavender lingers like a soft breath across the horizon, while the blue settles into something deeper, something that feels wide and quiet at the same time. Now and then, as your gaze drifts across the water, a thought appears. It does not arrive with urgency. It does not ask to be followed. It is simply there, like a faint reflection that rests on the surface for a moment before dissolving back into the whole. Perhaps it is a memory, though it does not feel like something distant or separate. It feels light, almost weightless, like something that has already softened with time. A moment of sitting somewhere else. A quiet room with warm lamplight resting in the corner. The gentle texture of fabric beneath your hands. The slow, steady ticking of a clock that never rushed, never faltered, only continued in its calm, predictable rhythm. The memory does not stay. It does not need to. It fades the same way the colors in the sky are fading gradually, without edges, without a clear ending. And in its place, the present remains, unchanged and steady. The lake, the sky, your breath, inhale, exhale. A faint ripple appears again, closer this time. It moves outward in a soft circle, touching the reflection just enough to blur it for a moment, like a gentle exhale across a smooth surface. The colors shift slightly within the ripple, bending, blending, then returning to stillness as the movement fades. You watch, but only lightly. There is no need to follow where it began, no need to wonder why it appeared. It came, and now it is gone. The air feels cooler again, though in a way that feels familiar now, expected even, like a quiet pattern that repeats without needing to be noticed each time. Somewhere, a small sound echoes softly, perhaps the same one from before, or perhaps something new that simply feels the same. It carries no meaning beyond itself. It arrives, rests briefly in the space, and then disappears, leaving the quiet just as it was. Your shoulders remain low, your hands remain still, your breath continues. There is a sense now that the space around you is not only quiet, but gently holding that quiet in place, as though the world itself has chosen to slow down to match the rhythm you have settled into. Another memory flickers, even softer than the last. The feeling of sitting near a window, watching a soft wind move behind the glass. The faint reflection of light on the surface, shifting slowly as something outside passes by. The sense of being inside and outside at the same time, held in a quiet in-between. It, too, fades. Not suddenly, not completely, just enough to return you fully to where you are, here by the lake, under the fading sky. Inhale, exhale. The colors above continue to soften. The reflection below follows, and everything moves, not forward, not backward, but inward towards something quieter, something gentler, something that does not need to be named, to be understood. The quiet has deepened into something that feels almost complete, though not in a finished way, not in a way that closes anything, but in a way that simply rests, steady and whole, without needing to become more than it already is. You remain by the lake. There is no sense of having been here for a long time, and no sense of having just arrived. Time has softened too much to be measured in that way. It moves now like the reflection on the water, continuous, unbroken, without clear edges. Your breath continues. Inhale, exhale. The space between each breath becomes more noticeable, not because it is longer, but because it feels fuller, as though even the pauses are gently held just as carefully as the movement itself. The lake is still, or perhaps it has always been this still, and only now you are noticing it more completely. The surface holds the dimming sky with the same quiet care, though the colors have become more subtle, more blended, like something remembered rather than something seen. Lavender softens into a muted blue. Blue deepens towards something darker, though not yet night. The last traces of warmth in the sky feel distant now, like a fading echo that lingers just long enough to be felt before it disappears entirely. You do not follow the change. You allow it. Inhale, exhale. Your body feels supported, not only by the seat beneath you, but by the stillness around you. There is a quiet sense that nothing here will shift suddenly. Nothing will interrupt the gentle rhythm that has formed. Even the small sounds have grown softer. When they appear, they feel further away, as though they are passing at the very edge of awareness, never coming close enough to disturb the calm. And in their absence, there is something else. Silence, not empty, not hollow, but full in a quiet, steady way, like a soft presence that surrounds everything without pressing against it. You begin to notice the way your breath moves through your body, the slight expansion as you inhale, the gentle release as you exhale, the way each breath rises and falls like a slow, steady tide, mirroring something in the lake, though the lake itself no longer shows even the smallest ripple. Inhale, exhale. There is no need to adjust anything, no need to deepen the breath or slow it further. It has already found its place. A faint sensation of air moves across your skin again, though it is softer now, almost indistinguishable from stillness itself. It does not pass through. It lingers, barely there, like a quiet thought that does not need to form into words. Your gaze remains soft. It does not settle on any one point. It rests across the surface of the water, across the reflection of the sky, across the space where the two meet and become something indistinguishable. Another small memory begins to form, but it is even lighter than before. Not an image, not a scene, but a feeling. The warmth of a dim light in a quiet room. The comfort of sitting without needing to move. The slow ticking of time that does not demand attention. It lingers for a moment, then it fades, leaving behind only the same steady presence that has been here all along. The lake, the sky, your breath, inhale, exhale. There is a sense now that everything is resting together, not separate, not layered, but gently connected, like parts of a single quiet rhythm that continues without effort. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be taken away. There is only this slow, steady unfolding of stillness, where even the smallest movements have softened into something that feels almost like rest itself. The stillness remains, and within it, the smallest details begin to repeat, gently, patiently, like a quiet pattern that does not seek attention, yet continues all the same. You are still seated. There is no sense of needing to shift, no impulse to move beyond what is already here. Even the idea of movement feels distant now, like something that belongs to another place, another rhythm, far from this slow and steady quiet. Inhale, exhale. The breath continues, soft and even, rising and falling with a familiarity that no longer needs to be noticed directly. It simply happens, like the fading of light, like the deepening of the sky. The lake holds its calm. Its surface reflects what remains of the evening, though the colors have grown dimmer, softer, blending into one another until they feel less like colors and more like a gentle presence of light and shadow. Now and then, there is the faintest suggestion of movement, a nearly invisible shift across the water, a line so soft it seems to disappear as soon as it is seen. It forms, it drifts, and then it is gone, leaving no trace, no interruption. And then, after some time though, time is no longer something that can be easily measured. It happens again. The same soft movement, the same gentle fading, a pattern without insistence. Inhale, exhale. The air feels still, though not empty. There is a quiet sense of it resting around you, like a thin layer that does not press, does not move, only remains. And within that stillness, there are the smallest sounds, repeating in their own slow rhythm. A faint brush, a distant settling, a near silent shift that comes and goes, each time softer than before, each time blending more completely into the space around it. You do not follow these sounds. You allow them to pass, and in their passing, they become part of the quiet, not separate from it. Your hands remain where they are. If there is any movement at all, it is so slight that it feels less like movement and more like a continuation of stillness, a small adjustment of fingers, a gentle resting into the surface beneath you, the quiet reassurance of contact that does not need to change. The seat remains steady, unmoving, supportive in a way that no longer draws attention to itself, because it has become part of the background of this moment, just as the lake and the sky have. Inhale, exhale, the repetition continues. Breath, stillness, soft sound, fading light, and then again. Breath, stillness, soft sound, fading light. Each cycle feels the same, and yet not identical, like the surface of the lake that reflects the same sky, while always holding it in a slightly different way. There is a subtle sense, almost too faint to notice, that the boundary between you and this place has softened, not in a way that changes anything, not in a way that needs to be understood, only in a quiet, natural way, as though the stillness has extended itself gently, including everything within it without effort. The sky has darkened further. The last remaining hues are now delicate, nearly transparent, like something that is already becoming memory even as it is still present. The lake reflects this with the same quiet acceptance. Nothing is held, nothing is resisted. Everything is allowed to soften. Inhale, exhale, the pattern continues, slower now, though not by force, simply because there is no reason for it to be anything else. And within that gentle repetition, the world feels as though it has settled into a rhythm so calm, so steady, that even the idea of change has begun to rest alongside everything else. The rhythm continues, though it has grown so soft, now that it feels less like something repeating and more like something simply existing. Steady and unbroken, you remain seated by the lake. There is almost no movement left. Not because movement has been stopped, but because it has gently completed itself, like a quiet task that no longer needs attention. Inhale, exhale. The breath is slow, even, and barely noticeable, as though it has blended into the stillness around you, becoming part of the same calm presence that fills the air, the water, the fading sky. Your body rests, not just in place, but in a deeper way, as if each part has settled into exactly where it belongs, without needing to shift or adjust. Your hands are still. Your shoulders are low. Your gaze remains soft, though it no longer feels like you are looking at anything in particular. The lake is quiet, completely quiet. No ripples appear now, or if they do, they are too subtle to be seen, too gentle to disturb the smooth reflection that has become almost like glass, holding the dimming light without change. The sky has deepened further. The last traces of color are nearly gone, leaving behind a soft, even tone that feels wide and distant, like a space that stretches without edges. The reflection below mirrors this, though softer still, as if the lake has taken what remains of the sky and quieted it even more. Inhale, exhale. There is a faint sensation of air, though it no longer moves across your skin in any noticeable way. It simply exists around you, still and present, like a quiet companion that does not need to speak. The small sounds that once came and went have faded almost entirely. If they appear, they do so at such a distance that they feel like echoes of something already gone, barely touching the edges of awareness before dissolving into silence again. And in their absence, the quiet feels complete. Not empty, not waiting, just whole. Your awareness begins to rest more than it observes. There is less noticing of details, less following of changes, because there are fewer changes to follow. Everything has softened into a steady presence that does not ask to be seen or understood. It simply is. Inhale, exhale. There is a sense that the evening has reached a point where nothing more needs to happen. The fading of light has nearly finished. The movements of the water have come to rest. The small patterns of sound have quieted into stillness, and you remain not as something separate from all of this, but as something gently included within it. The boundary between your breath and the quiet around you feels thin now. Not gone, not changed, just softened, as though the rhythm inside and the stillness outside have found a way to rest together without interruption. Your gaze lowers slightly, or perhaps it simply softens further, until even the reflection of the sky becomes less distinct, more like a smooth, dark surface that holds no need for detail. Inhale, exhale. There is almost nothing left to notice, and yet there is no absence, only a steady, gentle presence that continues without effort. The lake, the quiet sky, your breath, all resting together as the evening settles into a stillness so complete that even time itself seems to have paused, not stopped, but simply chosen to rest alongside everything else. The light has nearly gone, not suddenly, not in a way that can be marked or measured, but in a slow and quiet fading that has been happening all along, so gently that it feels less like something ending and more like something settling into rest. You remain where you are. There is no thought of leaving, no sense of staying, only the quiet continuation of being here as the lake and the sky move deeper into stillness together. Inhale, exhale. The breath is soft now, almost indistinguishable from the space around it, as though each inhale rises from the quiet itself, and each exhale returns gently back into it. The sky above has become a deep, even tone. There are no longer clear colors to follow, no edges where one shade becomes another. Everything is blended into a calm darkness that feels wide and open, yet close at the same time, like a soft covering that rests lightly over everything. The lake reflects this. Its surface, once holding traces of fading color, now carries only the quiet presence of the darkening sky, smooth and undisturbed, like a still surface that has forgotten how to move. If you look closely, though there is no need to look closely, you might notice the faintest suggestion of light remaining, not from the sky itself, but from somewhere less defined. A soft glow that seems to rest just beneath the surface of the water, barely visible, like a memory of light that has not fully disappeared. It does not brighten. It does not spread. It simply remains quiet and steady, as though the lake is holding on to the last whisper of the evening without needing to let it go. Inhale, exhale. The air is still, completely still. There is no movement now, no shifting of leaves, no distant sounds that come and go. The quiet has deepened into something that feels continuous, unbroken, as though the space itself has settled into a single, steady tone. Your body rests within this, not noticing, not adjusting, only resting. There is a sense that even awareness itself is softened. It no longer moves outward to observe. It rests inward gently, without direction, without effort. The seat beneath you feels distant now, not because it is gone, but because it no longer needs to be noticed. It continues to support you in the same quiet way, without change, without drawing attention. Inhale, exhale. The faint glow within the lake remains. If anything, it feels softer now, as though it is slowly dissolving into the darkness around it, becoming less something that can be seen and more something that can be felt, though even that feeling is light, almost not there at all. Time is loosened further. There is no sense of moments passing, no sense of before or after, only this continuous presence where everything rests exactly as it is. The lake, the darkened sky, your breath, and the quiet glow that lingers just for a while longer before it too begins to fade into the same soft stillness that has come to hold everything so gently. There is only a quiet awareness now, not focused, not searching, just a gentle presence that rests without needing to move. You remain by the lake, though even the sense of by has softened, as though distance no longer holds its usual meaning. There is no clear line between where you are and where the lake begins, no edge that asks to be noticed. Everything rests together. Inhale, exhale. The breath is faint, so soft it feels like a suggestion rather than a movement, rising and falling without sound, without effort, as if it is being carried by the stillness rather than created within it. The lake is dark, not empty, not absent, but full in a quiet, steady way, like a surface that holds everything without showing it. The reflection is no longer something that can be seen clearly. It is blended into the same depth as the sky above, until the two feel like one continuous space. The faint glow that once lingered has softened further. It is difficult to say whether it is still there. Perhaps it is. Perhaps it has already faded. There is no need to decide. Inhale, exhale. The air remains still, unmoving, unchanging. It rests around you without touching, without passing, simply existing as part of the same quiet that has settled over everything. There are no sounds now, or if there are, they are too distant to reach this place, too soft to become known. Silence has become complete, not in a way that closes anything, but in a way that gently holds everything, like a space where nothing needs to enter and nothing needs to leave. Your body feels distant, not gone, not separate, just quiet, resting in the same way the lake rests, in the same way the sky rests, without needing to be noticed or understood. Inhale, exhale. Even the rhythm of the breath feels less defined. The space between each inhale and exhale stretches gently, not longer, but softer, as though the beginning and end of each breath have blurred into one another. There is only a slow, steady presence. The awareness that remains does not move outward. It does not reach for the lake or the sky or even for the breath. It simply rests. And in that resting, everything feels complete. There's nothing missing, nothing unfinished, nothing waiting to happen next. The sense of time has faded almost entirely. No past, no next moment. Only this quiet, continuous now that does not shift or change. Inhale, exhale. And even those words feel softer now, as though they too are beginning to dissolve into the same stillness. The lake, the sky, the quiet, all resting together without edges, without movement, without the need to become anything more than they already are. And you, resting within it, as gently as everything else. There is only the softest sense of being, not something to hold, not something to follow, just a quiet presence that remains light and steady, like the faintest breath that rises and falls without sound. Inhale, exhale. And even that feels distant now, as though the breath no longer needs to be noticed, no longer needs to be named. It simply continues, gently, somewhere within the stillness. The lake is no longer something you look at. The sky is no longer something above. They have both softened into the same quiet depth, a space without edges, without distance, where nothing stands apart. There is no movement, no change, only a calm, even resting that holds everything without effort. If there is any light, it is too soft to be seen. If there is any sound, it is too quiet to be heard. Everything is settled into a stillness so complete that it no longer feels like stillness, only like a gentle, endless rest. Inhale, exhale. The rhythm continues, though it no longer feels like a rhythm. It feels like something that has always been here, something that does not begin, something that does not end. Your body rests, your awareness rests. Even the sense of resting begins to soften, to fade, to dissolve into something quieter still. There is no need to notice where you are, no need to remember how you arrived, no need to follow any thought that might appear, because thoughts too have grown soft, light, and distant, like faint ripples that never fully form. They come, they fade, and nothing is disturbed. The quiet holds, gently, endlessly. Inhale, exhale, and even those words begin to dissolve, becoming slower, softer, until they are no longer separate from the stillness they describe. There is only this, a calm that does not move, a quiet that does not break, a presence that does not ask to be known, and within it, everything rests, softly, easily, completely, and somewhere far beneath notice, like the faintest echo of a thought that never fully forms, there is the sense of drifting, not away, not toward anything, just drifting, as though the stillness itself is gently carrying everything into a deeper and deeper quiet, where nothing needs to be held, nothing needs to remain, nothing needs to be released, only rest, only quiet, only the soft, endless fading into something so gentle, so light, that even the idea of it slowly disappears until there is no longer anything to follow, no longer anything to name, only a final, quiet softness. And then even that fades. Where are you drifting over tonight? Let the weightlessness take over your body. If this story helped you find peace, please consider subscribing for more nightly journeys. Sleep well, traveler.